When working with digitized materials such as digitized books, one faces many challenges. During the project The Illustrated Book in Lyon, I had the possibility to gather a corpus of illustrated editions and to digitize them in the Warburg Institute iconographic database. One of the central questions of the project was how these book illustrations were reused, in which publications, and for which purposes. The database I was working with was not specifically built to answer these questions. Therefore, I look for new possibilities in the emerging fields of digital humanities for data visualizations and for iconographic indexations. Thanks to a collaboration with the Visual Geometry Group at the University of Oxford, we started a collaboration with the VISE software, an automatic image retrieval software that allows users to automatically trace reuse of images. And thanks to the help of senior research software engineer Dr. Abhishek Dutta, already in 2019 we created a first demo of 16th century illustrated editions automatically retrievable online. That is the Lyon 16 CI, which is publicly accessible and accepts contributions of new illustrations and metadata from expert and research scholars interested in early modern printed illustrations. It contains a selection from the collection of around 10,000 images. The VISE software has already been utilized for different projects on book illustrations, which I will mention later, and it proved especially useful in order to retrieve images with different kinds of search. There are three different kinds of search that can be used, so an instant search, a visual search using visual regions, a metadata search using textual metadata, bibliographic and descriptive, and also a comparative search using your own image, basically uploading and search for correspondences in the database. How does this work? Basically, the visual search is the most intuitive and can be easily done. But for reasons for clarity in the database, we already insert an example and a tutorial video in order to facilitate the user. And it works in this way. Images matching the search query. So one select an image and correspondences are found thanks to the VISE software, because it searches for all images. We have 10,000, but it can search throughout millions of images that share a large number of similar features with the query image. The features are represented and stored in a way that allows a fast lookup and a fast search. And visual content in each detected region, for instance, you see here an example using an ornament, is denoted by a feature vector, and correspondences and differences can be automatically seen, for instance, in this decorative element. These vectors that are here outlined as lines and circles are capable of summarizing visual content of the region in such a way that two regions having similar visual content produce similar feature vectors. Regions that are consistently detected even when the image content is scaled, rotated, translated, or there is a difference in illumination or a slight change in the viewpoint. And all these capabilities, all these features make the search very flexible for the user. And you can see here another example of feature vector detecting similarities in different images. There is also metadata search, so using the HPB number, so the Heritage of Printed Books number, we inserted bibliographic metadata, constructing the file name using also the location and the HPB and the page number. And users can also search through the collection thanks to the metadata search. A third possibility is to upload one's own image to search for corresponding images in the database itself. And this is also quite intuitive method, I'd say. The corpus is not only constituted by illustrated pages, but also of early modern matrices. For what concerns the case study of Lyon, we have 400 matrices, woodcuts, from the collection of the Musée de l'Imprimerie et de l'Art Graphique et de la Communication Graphique in Lyon, which is a very, very interesting material to analyze and also to experiment with such visualization methods. We know that matrices are art historical tools of knowledge which have been grossly understudied until now by art historians, but they are actually very fascinating material because analyzing a matrix, we can have an idea of the knowledge process and also of the technical process of producing a printed image, because matrices give you hints into the ways of working woods, as you can see here in this image belonging to the collection of the Musée de l'Imprimerie, which the final product cannot offer. So the collection of the 16th century matrices is just one of the many collections that are not yet digitized in Europe and beyond. So this is one of the digital humanities development for what concerns digitization of cultural heritage. Let alone there is no, let's say, model of descriptive metadata to attach to this material, to this art historical material. So they are a bit scattered collections, not digitized, and sometimes not even properly catalogued in the collections. For what concerns digitization process, we have one very good example at the Plantin-Moretus Museum in Antwerp, whose collection of woodblocks have been digitized for more than 4,000 woodblocks, and they are now turned into copper plates. So this is a way this digital project advances. The VISE software is able to recognize different matrices, similar matrices, even when the objects are scaled or with different enlightenment, so different illumination system. Or, for instance, in this latrine, we have an example of a different viewpoint, but the software is able to recognize the similarities in the features vectors. As mentioned before, this software is not new to book illustrations project, so it has already been used in different projects, such as the Baudelaire Ballads project on 15th century chapbooks. And it has also been used for different kinds of projects, for instance, these matching patterns from Assyrian stone tablets in Oxford, or for other projects such as matching azulejo tiles, a fascinating project at the University of Lisboa. During the project, we established a collaboration with Dr. Matilde Malaspina for the creation of another database, merging 16th century and 15th century illustrated books. And this collaboration resulted in this other demo, the 1516, a visually searchable database of printed illustration from the 15th and 16th century, which basically works in the same way as the Lyon 16 CI, but it includes a larger corpus in order to experiment and find correspondence between different corpora of 15th and 16th century illustrated editions. Both the Lyon 16 CI and the 1516 use the Visual Geometry Group image search engine, and they are publicly accessible, which is a free and open source software for visual search of a large number of images using an image as a search query. Now there are, for what concern the technical and the research future perspective, there are some technical perspectives, so we need to build an online interface to allow research scholars to add, edit or delete metadata themselves. We need to add new images to the collection, of course, and we need to make the advanced search mode for research better and more granular, let's say. For what concern research future perspective, we need to add suitable bibliographic metadata source for the 16th century and also harmonize the descriptive metadata, so the iconographic metadata. to implement structured processes to populate the database with further images, and to create an actor of editor and contributors who want to add to the database as it is a living creature. Thank you.